Welcome to Channel Weird. I'm Clyde Lewis, and it's the Labor Day weekend, but that doesn't stop us from wanting to bring you some interesting stuff with Channel Weird. In fact, an interesting guest today. In fact, I'm very excited to have as a guest someone you may have seen perform. AGT, America's Got Talent, also Penn and Teller, a magician. It's not always we don't always have magicians, but in this moment we have Dave Merlin, who is the paranormalist, and certainly he has just blown away audiences with what he does, with the effects he does, and all the other interesting things that he has brought forward. And first of all, welcome to the show. I'm very excited to have you on, Dave.
Thanks. Can you guys hear me okay?
One moment. We're going to try to get the audio up. Are you there, Dave? Hello?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
There you are. There you are. Yeah, they just brought you up. So
Okay, great.
there you go. So it's good to have you here. First of all, it's good to see you. First of all, I'm just so excited. I don't know where to begin with you. You're amazing. You've done a lot of great work. Like I say, I'm a big fan of America's Got Talent, so I've seen you perform before. And tell me a little bit about what your interest is in the paranormal, because obviously it seems to follow you everywhere you go, and with the illusions and everything you do, it's just amazing.
Yeah, well, first of all, I got started in close-up magic, I guess, about 30 years ago. And then I kind of evolved into the illusions. Like, I was a big fan of David Copperfield and Doug Henning and Blackstone Jr. I loved all that stuff. And I had these skills that I was able to design, create, and build my own props through time. So everything that you see in my show, actually, I designed and built. Um, but I've always been, interested in, the paranormal, whether it be, ghosts or UFOs. And I've had a couple of experiences with each one of them in my life, one of each. And it just, I don't know, it propelled me to thinking, what if I create a show that's built around the paranormal, that's, where there's ESP and telekinesis and telepathy and then the ghost all built to have paranormal activity live on stage. And
Mhm.
nobody else was really doing that. And I was so, interested in it. I thought it would be a great idea. And actually, before I did it, I talked with Art Bell. And he thought it was just a wonderful idea because he had never seen anything like that. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, about a year after we became friends, he passed away. And so I started designing this whole concept around the paranormal, and it's people have really taken to it because, like I said, nobody else is really doing anything like this.
Well, it's so convincing too, because I remember watching one of your videos, and I think a lot of people, when they see you perform, they wonder if you're manifesting, and that's something that I've wanted to ask you. That people have been like, "Wow, this is so creepy in a way, so bizarre that he's got to be manifesting. He's got to be conjuring somehow." I mean, how much of this is intent and conjuring as opposed to the illusion? I mean, you need to kind of set the record straight, I guess, because people are so convinced that you have some sort of magical powers.
Well, it's common knowledge that the average person has the five senses, the sense of sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. But it's believed that there's some people on this earth gifted with the supernatural ability of the sixth sense,
Hmm.
the ability to hear and see things that others can't, the ability to move things with their minds or transmit thoughts from one person to another. So in my show, I don't make any claims that I have any supernatural abilities whatsoever. I let the audience be the complete judge and jury of what I'm doing, if it's real or illusion.
Hmm. Do
Because
you have a?
nowadays,
I was going to
if
say,
you
do you have a
tell some,
problem with people thinking that you may? I mean, I certainly am kind of like, it's so exciting to talk to you, because here I have this opportunity to strip away, apparently, but I know that magicians don't give away their secrets, but it's like I say, it's very convincing, Dave. I mean, what you do is, like I say, it's to the point where you're wondering, where's that line? Because you're a gifted individual that seems to have that sixth type of sense. And I think that you're utilizing it to actually create this magical effect and experience.
Well, I've always been a very intuitive person. I can read people. There's people you see. You've driven through these small towns, and you'll see these signs in a yard that say psychic advisor.
Hmm.
Well, they're all over the United States, and a lot of these people are con artists. You know,
Hmm.
but there are some people that they've done things that are unexplainable. And even my mom, she's 87. And when she was growing up, there was a lady here in Alabama that people would come from all over the country to see her, to get advice. And my dad back in the day was a big coon hunter,
Hmm.
and he had lost one of his dogs. So somebody said you ought to go to Miss Till and ask her. And he, of course, he was a skeptic, and he didn't believe it, but he did it anyway. She told him, said, your dog is at so and so's house underneath the porch. So he goes there, and surely to goodness, the dog was under this porch in Clay County, Alabama. And
Hmm.
then, of course, the word spread about that. And so he was, kind of a believer after that, that people had those type of abilities. And of course, I've come to be friends with Tony Spira of, the Warren family up
Hmm.
in Connecticut. And Tony, he's a huge believer in this kind of thing, especially spirits and evil spirits.
Well, I've been a big
Um,
fan of what they call hillbilly witchcraft, or the kind of mesmerism and I guess paranormal stuff that is in the South. There are a lot of people. I interviewed a guy one time that had gin jars that he found that were made by these witches, and another guy. There was a story I read the other day that he found a witch bottle and it had a tooth in it and a bunch of other things. And so I have a fascination with that whole southern. I call it hillbilly witchcraft, but it's something more. And a lot of people are proud of that heritage because it just you grow up around it, and it's kind of a mystery as to whether or not it's real or not real. But it's kind of like a undiscovered pleasure or guilty pleasure of voodoo in those areas. What do you say to that?
yeah, I mean, I had friends that knew people in New Orleans, and they claim this stuff is real. One of my friends, he's a very close friend. He came from Cuba when he was about 10 years old, and his mother tells a story uh, about something that happened there when they were living in Cuba. Uh, they had supposedly had some type of activity happening in the house, and they brought one of these people. And I don't know if it's a shaman or or who he was,
Right.
but he brought a coconut into the house. And I don't know if you've heard anything about this kind of ritual with a coconut.
No.
And and my friend Renee, he remembers this. He was a little boy at the time, but his mom tells the story about this coconut just practically coming alive and ramming into a door.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I mean you can see it in her eyes. She's not just telling some kind of fabrication. It was, and Renee, he remembered it as well. He was, I don't know, he was probably about 8 years old at the time, and they went into a room, and this thing is just ramming into the door on the other side. So, I, I don't know how you explain things like that. I
I've
think everybody's.
Yeah, South America loaded with curanderos. It's called curandero or curandera, more or less brujeria, which is a witchcraft, witch doctoring. And it was funny because I had some sort of pain in my back, and I
Hmm.
couldn't get rid of it. And they said, "Why don't you go to a curandero? He'll take care of you." So the curandero, I was talking to him, and he immediately grabs a leaf off a tree. He says, "Take this home, boil it, and drink the water." He says, "Your back will be fine." And so I did, and my back was fine. And when I went back to him, I said, "What did you do? What was that leaf?" And he said, "It's the mind. It's the mind." He said, "You believed that this leaf was going to cure you, and it cured you." And so that's why, I think it seems as though the mind now the more we understand the mind, the more we understand how people psychologically react to things. Is it easier for you to do illusions now, or is it easy for you to do this because you know what the eye and the mind see? Is that sort of a thing you have to learn about patterns and that sort of thing?
Yeah, a lot of what I do is kind of you've heard of people in the CIA and FBI. They can get people into an interrogation room, and they can, of course, they can read people by body language and using psychology.
Hmm.
And sometimes maybe that's a little bit of what I do. Um, I don't know if it's a gift or if it's just something that I've kind of learned over time. But I mean, when you come to my shows and see it live, I mean, it is mind-boggling because you see some of these things on television, and of course, you think the people are set up, there's
Hmm.
stooges, there's camera tricks involved, and in my show, it's just me. I don't use your traditional magic assistant like someone. It's just me and the audience.
Right.
And usually the way I get people from the audience to participate on stage is by throwing an object out into the crowd and somebody catches it. But then because I really
Right.
want random people and I want
Right.
skeptics, to help out. And that's what's so powerful. And then of course, instead of just having a show where it's all about mentalism or predictions or ESP, I like to mix the big illusions in there just have a great blend of entertainment. Just an hour and a half, people can forget all their problems and just let their minds explore.
With everything that we're seeing now in Hollywood and just everywhere, it seems that the mentalist or the paranormalist, I guess, the magician or whatever you want to call sorcerer, they have a harder job because it has to be now more sophisticated. Uh, is that something that becomes a little bit more challenging for you? I mean, I just look at the magicians now, and I've been like Shin Lim, for example. I've been watching him a lot,
Hmm.
and I just look at him and I'm thinking to myself, this guy's a pianist, but then he's doing magic, and it's like, and it seems so advanced and so sophisticated. I mean, that must take a lot of hard work and practice.
Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah. Shin Lim, he's one of the premier card manipulators in the world. Some of the things that he does is incredible. And people think that since I grew up in magic and doing illusions that I know how everything works. And to a degree, I might have somewhat of an idea, but I'll see people like Shin Lim perform, and I'm just completely blown away by the manipulation and the sleight of hand, and even I can get fooled, and so that's what makes it more entertaining for me. I love to get fooled.
Mhm.
Just like I was on the show Penn and Teller, and you get to go in there and try to fool them,
Mhm.
but it's hard to fool those guys, both of them, because
Right.
they've been in the business for 50 years. So between them, that's 100 years of knowledge. So to be able to fool them, that's quite a task. I didn't do it the first time, but uh, hopefully the next time I'm going to get them.
It's a skill. It's a skill. It just I look around me and I remember growing up. I knew a kid. His name was Greg, and he used to fascinate with his magic. And one day I said to him, I said, "We need to just have a school assembly, and we need to showcase your magic." And I learned all about like the cabinet, and I learned all about that stuff because I really wanted to know more about it because I kind of had this idea that maybe I could do magic, but no, I don't think I have that kind of discipline to be that good about it. I mean, I do stuff on the radio that I think would be kind of like magical. I do a lot of magic on the radio, I think, but it's a different type of thing when you're dealing with audio and you're dealing with theater of the mind. You are a visionary, and it's kinesthetic in a lot of ways. You said you throw things at people and you catch them. I mean, that's kind of a kinesthetic way of doing it, right?
Yeah, maybe so, maybe so. Um, I'm doing something new, brand new. I'm going to do today at some point with ESP with you,
Wow.
and and I have no clue if it's going to work through streaming because everything seems to work much better when you're one-on-one with a person.
Sure.
I mean, most definitely. I mean, by doing something over the telephone or of the internet, it's kind of difficult. But when you're one-on-one and you can really read that person, it makes a
Hmm.
big difference. Or you can
Right.
touch that person.
Yeah. A
Um,
lot of people, I don't think realize that there's a lot of, it's like with hypnosis or anything else. There's a lot of directions you have to follow and a lot of things that, when you're having the relationship with someone who's an illusionist, when you have the relationship, the give and take here, there's got to be a bit of it's all about the participation aspects, and I'm looking forward to this actually. Dave Merlin with us on Channel Weird. I'm excited because seeing this guy perform is amazing. Like I say, I mean he's like convincing of being like a conjurer or a person who is aware of what paranormal things light people on, turn them on. So we'll be back with more with Dave Merlin right here on Channel Weird. Don't go away. On the phone with me is Ronnie from GetTheTea.com. Hey, Ronnie, it is the tea that makes you go, I know this because I use it. My favorite is pomegranate. What kind of flavors are there to choose from with this wonderful tea?
You can do pomegranate. You can do just the straight, which is real good. And also we have a mint, a peppermint. People really love that one too. And we have a couple new flavors on the way, which I will not discuss yet, but they're coming.
You know, a lot of people don't know that peppermint is a very, very good supplement to keep the stomach happy. It relaxes the intestines, and once again, it makes you feel better because it allows them to move around and get that stuff out of you, that bad stuff out of you.
Absolutely. This is a digest mover. So people have a hard time digesting stuff, or you get something stuck, or maybe you're a real heavy meat eater. The tea is wonderful. That's why it's taglined, the tea that makes you go.
If I want my life to change and get the tea, where do I go to get it?
GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea, TEA.
Hey guys, it's Clyde Lewis. Have you ever wanted
Fantastic.
Ground Zero merchandise but didn't know where to go? Well, I want to let you know that we now have our own online store with such items as t-shirts, hoodies, decals, tote bags, and other exclusive specialty apparel. There's a secure and easy-to-use shopping cart for your purchases. Coming soon will be signed posters and coffee mugs available as we are constantly adding new items. So shop today at the official Ground Zero store by going to groundzeromerch.com. That's groundzeromerch.com.
It's all over the news, food shortages and scarcity in the supply chain. And the reality is nobody truly knows what might happen in the near future. Hi, I'm Clyde Lewis, and I want to let you know that it's a good idea to plan ahead so you aren't caught off guard. Nothing's more important than having enough food to eat, and we're here to help. We highly recommend My Patriot Supply, America's leading emergency preparedness company. They provide long-term emergency food that lasts up to 25 years in storage. When grocery stores run empty or disasters strike, their foods will be there when you need them most. Act now and secure at least a 4-week emergency food kit full of tasty meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. They have dozens of emergency food storage kits to choose from, along with a variety of other survival products. If the government tells you not to go out, you can have the peace of mind that comes from being prepared. After you order from My Patriot Supply, your food will arrive discreetly at your doorstep. Prepare today, because time is short. Go to preparewithgroundzero.com. That's preparewithgroundzero.com.
AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Are you stressed? I mean, who isn't? Anxiety creeping in? No, not that. Is sleep hard to attain because your brain just won't slow down? We're living in crazy times, and the fear knob has been turned up. Okay, there's an answer. Take a big breath, exhale, and go log on to AncientLifeOil.com. CBD, broad and full spectrum, organic and non-GMO CBD for you to enjoy. Change your tune from fear to calm, from brain overload to clear thinking. 0.003 THC on full spectrum and 0% THC on broad spectrum. Competitive pricing with the best quality. Also know everything is going to get better. No worries, be happy. CBD can help calm so your nerves don't think they're a 6-string electric guitar. Enjoy life, smile, and log on to AncientLifeOil.com for great CBD. That's AncientLifeOil.com. You'll be glad you did.
It's a well-known fact that controversial talk show hosts have recently been censored and even banned on the internet by corporate and political interests. Hey guys, it's Clyde Lewis from Ground Zero. And in order to counter the suppression of information, we've decided to create our own private digital playground called Aftermath. It's an exclusive online multimedia library featuring a social media platform, videos, audio clips, archive shows, research groups, documents, and a news aggregator. In addition, we're hosting other Ground Zero-friendly podcasts like Conspirafact with Wes and Bill, Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean, Para-Awareness with Mr. Gates and Isaac Weishaupt, Opposing Perspective with James Ponder, The Infinite Fringe with Billy Ray Valentine, and several more shows. Mobile apps for Android and Apple are available too. The monthly subscription for Aftermath is only $10 a month. The yearly special for new subscribers during the month of July is only $79 a month. You save almost $40. Sign up now by going to aftermath.media. Again, that's aftermath.media.
Welcome back to Channel Weird. I'm Clyde Lewis. Today we're very, very happy to say that we have Dave Merlin with us today, and it's exciting. You know, I was just talking with the producers, and I was saying that when you appeared on America's Got Talent, and I saw you, it's the humility that I think throws people off here. I mean, you have a very humble, very soft approach. And then when you're doing what you're doing, you know, you expect, you know, sometimes you see these magicians, they're all cocky. You're not cocky, okay? You don't come off as being very
No.
cocky. You come off as a guy who's, like you say, you've had experiences, right? And so you kind of have a respect for those experiences you've had. Can you talk a little bit about your experiences that you've had that certainly have opened your mind to this?
Well, I've had two separate experiences. One, as I said, was with a UFO, and one was, I don't exactly know what it was, but when I was about 18 years old, my my dad's brother had been staying with us, and he passed away. And it was maybe a month later, and my dad worked for Alabama Power Company. We're here in central Alabama, and when the storms would come through, my dad was always out late at night, restoring power, putting lines back up, and no matter what time of the night it was, he would always come to my room. He hadn't seen me at dinner. He'd come in, and even if I'm asleep, he's gonna sit on the side of the bed, wake me up, and just kind of see how my day was. And that's just the way we were. He just liked checking on me. So, I mean, it was nothing for me to be asleep, and I just feel my bed sink in when my dad's sitting there, to say, "Hey, what happened today?" Well, one evening, I had just laid down for bed, and just kind of thinking about the day, and then all of a sudden, I felt my bed just sink in. I have these box springs and this mattress, and it's like when my dad, he was a 200-pound guy. You could definitely feel that bed go down every time he'd sit on it. So I remember kind of turning over when I felt that because it mashed the mattress down pretty far. I turned to look, and there was nobody there. And I remember just like kind of freezing and just kind of being in a state of shock of like, what just happened. And it was kind of frightening that then all of a sudden you could feel the bed start to go back up, like somebody was standing back off the bed.
Right.
And I remember it to this day just so vividly in my mind. And I was terrified because, I didn't know what it was. And somebody said it could have been my uncle coming back because he had been with us for a couple of months. I don't know. Uh, but, you know, uh, the church I go to, I'm of Christian faith. One of my really, really good friends is the minister of music. And when him and his wife had gotten married, they moved into a house not far from where I'm at right now. And one evening, my friend, his name's also David, he they had just, I don't know, been in bed for about 15 minutes, and he just happened to look up, and he could see a little bit of light coming through, I think from probably the street light or whatever. It was a dark room, but you could still see in there. And he remembered seeing like a shadow of a person. So the first thing he thought, there's an intruder in our bedroom. So then he sees this shadow start to move around from the foot of the bed around toward his wife's side of the bed. And he's kind of punching on her like, Katie, Katie, wake up. And she said, what is it? He said, look. So as soon as he said it, she turned and looked, and she saw it too. And so she screams. Then he jumps up, runs to the light switch, hits it. There's nobody there. They're going through the house, looking through everything. The doors are still locked with the chains on them. And so this was an experience of two people. And these are honest, really honest people. They don't, fabricate things.
Hmm.
And so when they told me, I totally believed it. I said, well, here's kind of the experience I had. So I think that everybody out there has probably experienced something in their life, and sometimes they're afraid to tell anybody because of, people think you're a crackpot or something. But there are things that are just can't be explained.
I was reading somewhere that I think 60% of people in polls they've had, 60% of them have had these types of experiences, whether they feel that either they've been haunted by something they don't understand or they get a visit from a dead loved one, even before they have any idea that they're dead or have passed on. And this, um, I think this brings about something that would be a psychokinetic type of thing, where I think people are psychokinetic in a lot of ways. It's just they don't tap into it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of what you do is part illusion and also psychokinetic. Do you ever feel that maybe you possess psychokinesis?
Um, well, like I say, I don't know if it's just being intuitive. I don't know what you would call it, but I've always had that. I think of being able to read people and to see into them and know if somebody's a good person or a bad person.
Right.
Uh, I don't know. It's just like when you can sense something is wrong in your life, like whether you're dating someone and you think something's just not right, you can feel it.
Right.
And I think we all have this power within us, a gift. It's just if we can learn how to unlock it and to use it. I mean, we've got these phones, these computers that can do anything, but our mind yet, we can recall something faster than that phone can. So,
Have you ever
and
met anybody in your experiences that just, you just have a sense that they are just absolutely no good, and then later on you find out that they weren't?
yeah, yeah, I think there's been many people like that. I think that we all have, and I've always just been a good-natured person myself. Just try to treat people great and just be upfront and honest with everybody. And I think that's another aspect of my show that people, when they see me on stage and I'm just so friendly and personable, it draws them in even better because they trust me right out of the gate.
Hmm.
Um, it's just like with people that do hypnosis and hypnotist shows on stage. Now, if can a person hypnotize somebody, or is it just a power of suggestion? I do something in my show to give the people the choice. Am I hypnotizing you, or am I just implanting this thought in your mind and making you believe it? So it's pretty incredible when you see it. The, the experiment that I do in my show, it's unlike anything you've ever seen before.
So it just comes natural for you. Have you ever delved into reading more about like psychology and why the mind works the way it does? I mean, do you do that kind of research, or is it just something natural?
I think natural. When I was in college, I took psychology, but back
Hmm.
back in those days, I don't think I was really even interested in it. I think I just took the class because I had to, got stuck with it. But yeah, it's very interesting how as you get older and wiser, that you can use psychology and understand people. Um, but I don't know. I've never really gotten into the study of it uh, with what I do.
It's amazing that it comes naturally for you because it's like, I think that, I mean, at what age did you realize you had some sort of a gift like this? I mean, was there a time where you go, obviously, this is something that I'm blessed or cursed with?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I've always been intuitive about things. I was adopted, so I really don't even know any history of my real parents. I was adopted when I was 4 months old, and I've actually thought many times about going out and tracing my roots and to find
Right.
out where I came from. Because I actually started out as a musician before I got into the magic. I played drums and guitars, and we're probably all in that same age bracket where we grew up in the '80s and joined that kind of stuff. And but yeah, I got into music, and then uh, I don't know, the magic just came as a hobby, and then
Yeah.
it became kind of as a passion. I just really enjoyed it because it was so different, and to make people smile and happy and forget their problems. I think that's the biggest joy for me. There's, there's like, you see magicians that do it for the ego, and that's just not me. I'm just a Southern guy, just
Right.
everyday, just like
Yeah.
anybody.
That takes us full circle, because that's one of the things that we were talking about, was that there's such a, I guess there's such a pleasantness about you that, we said he's not cocky enough. So obviously he's got something gift. He understands that he doesn't want to abuse that gift, and he doesn't take it for granted. He certainly appreciates what he's been given, the blessings he's been given. Dave Merlin, we'll be right back with you. We got a lot more to talk about, a lot more interesting things, your relationships with other people and who you've met and who you're hanging with these days. We want to talk about that as well. And then, of course, stay tuned, because we have that illusion coming up that he wants to, or the connection, this ESP connection he wants to do. So Dave Merlin, Channel Weird. We'll be back with more. Don't go away. On the phone with me is Ronnie from GetTheTea.com. Hey, Ronnie, it is the tea that makes you go, I know this because I use it. My favorite is pomegranate. What kind of flavors are there to choose from with this wonderful tea?
You can do pomegranate. You can do just the straight, which is real good. And also we have a mint, a peppermint. People really love that one too. And we have a couple new flavors on the way, which I will not discuss yet, but they're coming.
A lot of people don't know that peppermint is a very, very good supplement to keep the stomach happy. It relaxes the intestines, and once again, it makes you feel better because it allows them to move around and get that stuff out of you, that bad stuff out of you.
Absolutely. This is a digest mover. So people have a hard time digesting stuff, or you get something stuck, or maybe you're a real heavy meat eater. The tea is wonderful. That's why it's tagline, the tea that makes you go.
If I want my life to change and get the tea, where do I go to get it?
GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea, TEA.com.
Fantastic. Hey guys, it's Clyde Lewis. Have you ever wanted Ground Zero merchandise but didn't know where to go? Well, I want to let you know that we now have our own online store with such items as t-shirts, hoodies, decals, tote bags, and other exclusive specialty apparel. There's a secure and easy-to-use shopping cart for your purchases. Coming soon will be signed posters and coffee mugs available, as we are constantly adding new items. So shop today at the official Ground Zero store by going to groundzeromerch.com. That's groundzeromerch.com.
It's all over the news, food shortages and scarcity in the supply chain, and the reality is nobody truly knows what might happen in the near future. Hi, I'm Clyde Lewis, and I want to let you know that it's a good idea to plan ahead so you aren't caught off guard. Nothing's more important than having enough food to eat, and we're here to help. We highly recommend My Patriot Supply, America's leading emergency preparedness company. They provide long-term emergency food that lasts up to 25 years in storage. When grocery stores run empty or disasters strike, their foods will be there when you need them most. Act now and secure at least a 4-week emergency food kit full of tasty meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. They have dozens of emergency food storage kits to choose from, along with a variety of other survival products. If the government tells you not to go out, you can have the peace of mind that comes from being prepared. After you order from My Patriot Supply, your food will arrive discreetly at your doorstep. Prepare today, because time is short. Go to preparewithgroundzero.com. That's preparewithgroundzero.com.
AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Are you stressed? I mean, who isn't? Anxiety creeping in? No, not that. Is sleep hard to attain because your brain just won't slow down? We're living in crazy times, and the fear knob has been turned up. Okay, there's an answer. Take a big breath, exhale, and go log on to AncientLifeOil.com. CBD, broad and full spectrum, organic and non-GMO CBD for you to enjoy. Change your tune from fear to calm, from brain overload to clear thinking. 0.003 THC on full spectrum and 0% THC on broad spectrum. Competitive pricing with the best quality. Also know everything is going to get better. No worries, be happy. CBD can help calm so your nerves don't think they're a 6-string electric guitar. Enjoy life, smile, and log on to AncientLifeOil.com for great CBD. That's AncientLifeOil.com. You'll be glad you did.
It's a well-known fact that controversial talk show hosts have recently been censored and even banned on the internet by corporate and political interests. Hey guys, it's Clyde Lewis from Ground Zero. And in order to counter the suppression of information, we've decided to create our own private digital playground called Aftermath. It's an exclusive online multimedia library featuring a social media platform, videos, audio clips, archive shows, research groups, documents, and a news aggregator. In addition, we're hosting other Ground Zero friendly podcasts like Conspirafact with Wes and Bill, Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean, Pair Awareness with Mr. Gates and Isaac Weishaupt, Opposing Perspective with James Ponder, The Infinite Fringe with Billy Ray Valentine, and several more shows. Mobile apps for Android and Apple are available too. The monthly subscription for Aftermath is only $10 a month. The yearly special for new subscribers during the month of July is only $79 a month. You save almost $40. Sign up now by going to aftermath.media. Again, that's aftermath.media.
Dave Merlin with us on Channel Weird. I'm Clyde Lewis, and we are discussing a lot of things with regard to magic and paranormal and experiences with ghosts. And Dave, you had a UFO experience too. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Of course, I'm from Alabama, but there was a period of time when I lived out in San Diego, California, and I went to work with a friend of mine in 1995 named Ray Wold. If you've ever been to the Cirque du Soleil show, he's the guy that sets himself on fire. So he's kind of a crazy guy. But we were about to do a Letterman appearance, and we were going to have to film what we were going to do with this fire and pyro up at his property in outside of Temecula, California. So he had a cabin, I guess, about 20 miles to the east of Temecula. I mean, 3,000-foot elevation. I mean, the middle of nowhere. And so he had bought that property so that he could specifically go up there to do all these different stunts that they wouldn't allow in the San Diego city limits. So we went up there to film it, because when you go on the Letterman show, everything has to be timed perfectly. So we had to get it on video and get it timed, and because we were going to be like the last act on the show. So we went up there, we got everything set up outside. We used to film in front of this giant boulder, and it had a flat area in front of it. And the view out the back of his cabin was like, he's up on a mountain, and you can see the city of Temecula at night, about 20 miles away. You can see the lights. And of course, it was a clear night. You could see all the stars. I don't think there was a moon that I can remember. But it was very quiet up there. I mean, you can hear airplanes, when they would come from LA to San Diego, or San Diego, wherever. So we were setting up the pyrotechnics on the inside of the cabin, getting them ready to take outside. And we'd already lit the boulder up in the area we were going to perform in with these the work lights that are on the tripods that you could get at any Home Depot or Lowe's. We had, I think, 3 of them. So each one of those was over 100 watts, or no, 500 watts, 1,000 watts. These are powerful lights. So this whole area is lit up. This 15-foot boulder is lit up. So we're inside. We got the camera out there ready. So Ray said, we're about done here. Why don't you make sure we've got everything ready to go out there, and so we can shoot and get back to San Diego, before midnight. So I walked out the cabin door and just happened to just look up and see it was just a great night, perfect weather, and just see over the valley, see the lights in the distance. And I just happened to kind of look off to my left, and there was some hilltops over that way, and I noticed a real bright light. And the first thing I thought, it was just probably a plane coming out of San Diego, and I'm just catching the lights. But then it moved from one hilltop to another hilltop, and it stopped. And I thought, well, that's really, really odd. And I thought, well, I wonder if it's a helicopter. And I thought, well, I don't hear anything. And then it moved back to the first position, and it's hovering again. So I'm thinking, I have no clue at this. I couldn't hear anything. It's hovering. So I yelled for my friend Ray to come out. He said, "What is it?" I said, "Come out here and look at this." So as soon as he opens the door, the light escapes, and this thing, whatever it was, just drops like a meteor behind the hilltop. So I'm like, "Okay, Ray, I'm not kidding with you. This is what I saw." And I explained the whole thing. And he said, "Well, my neighbor back there about a half mile said he's seen a lot of weird stuff in the sky." maybe it's military or something. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, that's probably what it is. Um, so he goes back inside. So I start walking the other direction. I got to go about 50 yards to the setup. So the incident happened on this side, so I'm walking to the opposite side. But then I looked out over the valley, and there it is again. But this time it looks like it's a couple miles out, just hovering, just sitting there. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what is this thing? Uh, and I would say that it's hard to know what the size was, but it was kind of a yellowish orange type, just ball of light, kind of an amber, kind of street light looking. But I mean, you've seen the evening star in the sky. I mean, this was 3 times that size. I mean, you couldn't miss it. So I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm thinking, I got that camera over there. So I took a step, and this thing drops and goes up like a V, just and then I'm really like taken back, like I can't believe I'm not scared. I'm just like, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, okay, I got to get to the camera. So I took a couple more steps, keeping my eyes on it, and it's like the lights went out.
Oh
Like
my
just
God.
somebody turned the light switch off. And I'm just standing there. I'm looking all over the sky, and I run back in and tell Ray, 'cause I'm so excited. And I mean, this happened in '97, and I think it was like 3 weeks before the Phoenix Lights incident. And
Really?
yeah, it was. Let's see, it happened. It was either 3 weeks before or 3 weeks after. I want to say it was. I want to say it was in February of '90. Let's see, when was the Phoenix Lights? This happened in
It was in
February of.
1997, I think April of 97. So yeah, February would be a couple months before.
Okay,
Gotcha.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, this was February of '97.
And I don't know if you know this or not, but I know that from research I've done on the Phoenix Lights, actually there was a ghost satellite that went out months before, and they said they were tracking these UFOs going on the West Coast. So you probably saw something that was a prelude to the Phoenix Lights. And yeah,
Yeah, to this day, people ask me, what it was, and I'm like, I can't. They say, was it alien? Well, I can't say that
yeah,
because
you
I've
can.
never seen an alien. Yeah, it's a light.
Hmm.
Could it have been military? I don't know.
Yeah,
People even say today, well, maybe you saw a drone, and I said, well, yeah, that maybe that's what it was. And they said, did it make a noise? So they said, but a drone does make noise. They say you can
yeah.
hear those rotors. I said, this thing was dead silent. And whatever it was looking at those lights that was lighting this big boulder up out in the middle of nowhere on top of a mountain. So somebody was looking at me. Whether it was a spy, drone, I don't know.
It just
But
it can creep you out if you see that stuff and you think it's looking at you, something eye in the sky.
uh,
Speaking of creeping out, I was told that you had an opportunity to hold Annabelle, the doll that the Warrens have, or was it the
well, I didn't.
movie version?
No, I didn't hold it, but I'm right next to it. Tony, he's got the artifacts room. If you've seen the Conjuring movies,
Hmm.
they show in each one of the episodes they show the artifacts room, and Tony doesn't let anybody touch it because I mean Tony is a firm believer that thing has evil within it.
Hmm.
Now, does it? I don't know, but Tony, Tony's a good guy, and he does, he's not a BSer. He's a straight kind of shooter, and he says this thing is real, and he's seen a lot of things through the years, and he talks about all the stories of the Warrens, and even in one of his books he talks about one of these shadow type things, similar to what my friend saw in their room, go through a wall. So personally, I've never seen anything like that. I just had the one incident where I didn't see anybody, which may be
Right.
even more frightening
Did you
because you
feel
couldn't
anything
see
coming
them.
off the cabinet when you were around that doll?
I mean, we were in there, just the two of us, and I'll tell you, it's a creepy room, and just the history of that thing, it kind of gives you the creeps in there for sure.
I held the
And
movie version. I had the movie version of Annabelle, the one that was in the film. I was holding her, and just I don't know, just the idea of holding something as a facsimile of an evil doll that looks like it's an evil doll. It felt like I was holding a dead body. It was that stiff and kind of cold. So I mean, I've held the other Annabelle. I've had her in my arms before, and it was kind of a surreal experience.
Yeah, I've talked to Tony about possibly, doing some kind of a tour together and actually taking the Annabelle doll, with us where people could see it up close and personal. But
No.
he's very reserved about doing it. And I mean, there's no telling what kind of money he could make doing it. But just to show you the kind of guy he is, he's like, I don't want anything to happen to anybody.
Right.
So
That's the
he
thing,
put,
is it'd be great if we could find a way to do a tour where we're bringing some of these artifacts that the Warrens had. But then again, you don't want to disturb the spirits. Have you met the Warrens? I know they're both gone now, but have you met them?
I was hoping to get to meet um, Lorraine.
No,
But
Lorraine. Yeah.
she had passed away before I got to take my trip, and then it was about a year later that I actually got to go up and meet Tony, and we talked a lot on the telephone, uh, before that, and he's just a great guy. And Judy, his wife, she's great too. We're Facebook friends, and we'll always shoot little messages back and forth to each other. And
Right.
yeah, they would be a great one for you to interview in the future if you haven't
I'd love
already.
to. Yeah, well, all you got to do is just hook up with Ron, and we can talk to them, because I'm always interested in finding out more about the Warrens, because all these films now, the Conjuring movies, have been out. Malignant is due in theaters. I don't know if it's going to have anything to do with the Warrens, but Malignant is another in the Conjuring series. I'm a big fan of that series, actually. I'm looking forward to seeing Malignant, and it's
Oh
just
yeah.
one more story. It's just, I love good storytelling, and it just seems that we're lacking that in some of the horror films today. Storytelling, a little bit of laughter, a little bit of scare, and that sort of thing. We're going to be back with more from Dave Merlin right here on Channel Weird. He's got this thing he wants to do with me that I want to save for last. We were saving it for last, so please stay tuned. We're going to see what happens with this ESP connection between Dave Merlin and I. Stand by. We'll be back with more Channel Weird. Don't go away. On the phone with me is Ronnie from GetTheTea.com. Hey, Ronnie, it is the tea that makes you go, I know this because I use it. My favorite is pomegranate. What kind of flavors are there to choose from with this wonderful tea?
You can do pomegranate. You can do just the straight, which is real good. And also we have a mint, a peppermint. People really love that one too. And we have a couple new flavors on the way, which I will not discuss yet, but they're coming.
A lot of people don't know that peppermint is a very, very good supplement to keep the stomach happy. It relaxes the intestines, and once again, it makes you feel better because it allows them to move around and get that stuff out of you, that bad stuff out of you.
Absolutely. This is a digest mover. So people have a hard time digesting stuff, or you get something stuck, or maybe you're a real heavy meat eater. The tea is wonderful. That's why it's tagline, the tea that makes you go.
If I want my life to change and get the tea, where do I go to get it?
GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea, TEA.com.
Fantastic.
Hey guys, it's Clyde Lewis. Have you ever wanted Ground Zero merchandise but didn't know where to go? Well, I want to let you know that we now have our own online store with such items as t-shirts, hoodies, decals, tote bags, and other exclusive specialty apparel. There's a secure and easy-to-use shopping cart for your purchases. Coming soon will be signed posters and coffee mugs available as we are constantly adding new items. So shop today at the official Ground Zero store by going to groundzeromerch.com. That's groundzeromerch.com.
AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Are you stressed? I mean, who isn't? Anxiety creeping in? No, not that. Is sleep hard to attain because your brain just won't slow down? We're living in crazy times, and the fear knob has been turned up. Okay, there's an answer. Take a big breath, exhale, and go log on to AncientLifeOil.com. CBD, broad and full spectrum, organic and non-GMO CBD for you to enjoy. Change your tune from fear to calm, from brain overload to clear thinking. 0.003 THC on full spectrum and 0% THC on broad spectrum. Competitive pricing with the best quality. Also know everything is going to get better. No worries, be happy. CBD can help calm so your nerves don't think they're a 6-string electric guitar. Enjoy life, smile, and log on to ancientlifeoil.com for great CBD. That's ancientlifeoil.com. You'll be glad you did.
Dave Merlin with us right here on Channel Weird. And before we get into this ESP connection that we have, I wanted to talk a little bit about your tour with Butch Patrick. You're touring with Eddie Munster. What exactly are you guys doing together? What project are you doing together?
Yeah, me and Butch became buddies like right as pandemic started, and he does a lot of comic cons and things like that with autograph sessions, and we just started thinking, what if we would put a show together where we could go out and bring the Munster coach and bring it to a theater, do photo ops, we show the movie Munster Go Home, uh, have him do a Q&A with everybody, and then I come out and do my paranormal show and even include Butch in a couple of things, a couple of Munster related kind of things. And by the way, Rob Zombie's currently remaking the Munsters movie. So
Yeah, I'm
that's
looking
going
forward to that. I think it'll be awesome.
and and also I was going to tell everybody I'm going to be at the Para Unity in Las Vegas December 10th or the 9th through the 11th this year.
Fantastic.
So
So go out
at
to
the
Las
M
Vegas to see Dave. It's going to be worth your while to do so. And is Butch going to be with you there too, or are you just on your own there?
I'm just on my own on that particular one, and but hopefully after this pandemic kind of gets under control, me and Butch can get out there and do a lot of stuff together. So if
Sure.
anybody is a promoter, theater owner, definitely get in touch with us.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. See Butch again, and of course, is writing on the idea that of course, Rob Zombie's doing the Munsters. I'm looking forward to that. Big Munsters fan over here. I just love the Munsters. I
Yeah.
I watch them on Hulu when I get. Oh no, on Peacock. They're on Peacock. I don't want to confuse anybody. They're on Peacock, so I watch them on Peacock every time I get a chance. So let's do this. Let's do this effect that you want to do. I'm really excited for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's brand new, so I don't know how it's going to work over the internet, but let's give it a shot.
Okay, cool.
Can you see this board behind me?
Yeah, it says ESP.
Yes. Yes. Okay. You saw the movie Ghostbusters, correct? Many times.
Yes, I've seen it many times. Yes.
You remember the opening scene with Bill Murray. He's in his
Hmm.
office, Dr. Veckman, and he's doing an experiment with two students using ESP cards.
Right. The
Okay,
Milgram experiment. He shocks them if they get it wrong. Yeah.
right. Well, I,
Go
I don't have
Sox.
any. Yeah, I don't have any electrodes with me today. So,
Right.
of course, ESP symbols. There's five of them. There's the cross, circle, star, wavy lines, and the square.
Mhm.
So above, I've got a matching card for each one of them. So, Clyde, what I'm going to do is I want you to one of these symbols. Which one kind of jumps out at you?
I need to tell you, right?
Yeah.
The star symbol.
So the star symbol. So the star symbol, you can see it. Yes.
Yes, I see it. Uh-huh.
Okay, that's your choice, and I want you to choose a card for me.
Okay, and I need to tell you. So it'll be the wavy symbol.
So the wavy lines, right? Okay.
Exactly.
So we have the star and the wavy lines, and we didn't have this set up or prearranged, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna mix these up. I'm gonna kind of take it out of view where you can't see me mixing them up. Okay. All right. All right. The star and the wavy lines. Okay. We've got two cards.
Right.
This is position one. This is position two. Now, you chose me the way. Do you think the wavy lines are in position one or position two?
Position 2.
Position two. The wavy lines, position two.
Right.
You are correct. And of course, the
Yes.
star would be there.
My gosh.
Very good, Clyde.
Yeah, okay, great.
See, we're
Great.
we're having a psychic connection. I'm gonna mix them again. Okay.
Okay.
All right. This is gonna be good. Okay. Here we go. Position one, Position 2. Can you tell me where the wavy lines are once again?
Position 1.
Clyde, you're really good at this. Okay. You can see, all right, we've got those two cards. You can see behind me that we have, okay, we got the wavy lines, we got the star. We've got the cross. We've got the circle,
Right.
and we have got the square. Okay, we've got all those cards.
Okay.
I'm going to mix these up, Clyde. I don't want you to know what any card is. Okay. Now, I'm no Shin Lim with cards, so. So we've got 5 cards, 5 symbols. Now,
Right.
which symbol do you think this card is?
The circle.
You think it is the circle. So
Yes.
we'll put it right. Let's see. The circle. All right. This card, what do you think this is?
The star.
The star. This card, what do you think it is?
The cross.
The cross. This card, what do you think it is?
The wavy lines.
The wavy lines. Okay. Now we have 1 card left.
Right.
Now, of course, it would go in this position, correct?
Sure. Yeah.
But I'm going to give you a choice. I can put it in that position, or you can take one of these if you want to change your mind and put it in that position.
I think I'm pretty confident it's a square.
You want to stick with this.
Yeah. I changed my
Now,
mind.
can you see me okay here?
Yeah, I can. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, usually if I would do this, somebody's probably going to match maybe 1 or 2. But
Okay.
the odds of matching all 5 are actually 122 to 1, I think is the odds. That's
Okay.
highly improbable, correct?
Sure. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Highly improbable. But you know, Clyde, improbable doesn't mean impossible.
Wow. I'm going to go play Keno. I'm going to go play Keno. That way I know I can get like this 8th spot, win a lot of money, and just retire. Too. That's amazing. That is awesome.
Hey, that's not me. That's you.
That was me.
You
Oh my gosh.
you chose all 5. So
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like they were speaking to me. It was one of those things. See, that's amazing stuff right there. See,
That's
that's
incredible.
stuff that you cannot fake. I mean, see, that's the thing. Is everything's so damn sophisticated now. It's like I'm completely baffled as to how that happened. I'm completely blown away. And
yeah,
I don't even know what to say. I don't know how to. I can't ask you how this was done because you're saying it was the and we had sort of a connection there. I think so. That's the thing that's most fun about this thing. So okay, where are you touring again? Tell everybody where you're touring again. Where you're going to be in Vegas.
Well, of course, right now with the COVID thing, so many shows have been canceled. You know, everybody in the entertainment field is really hurting right now. But I am going to be, as far as I know, at the MGM Grand Convention Center, December 9th through the 11th this year, and possibly shooting some kind of a Halloween special in Las Vegas in the month of October. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, so. There's several things possibly happening, and of course, you know, if we can ever get out there on the road, me and Butch are ready to come to your town. And have you interviewed Butch before?
Coach. Yes, long time ago. I'd like to interview him again and get his ideas as to how the new Monsters film is going with Zombie, and maybe having you on at the same time talking about the tour if the tour continues. where we can see the Munster coach. Is Dragula following you, or are you just going to have the coach?
He's gonna. Well, it could be different. He's got access both to the Dragula and the coach, but I think for the most part, we'll probably have the coach with us. Uh,
Yeah.
he's also got the Dragula, and he has a trailer with a Munsters escape room in the first
Wow.
14 feet of this thing. It's like a two-room escape room. You have 13 minutes to escape, and it's called 1313 Mockingbird Maze. So we'll be
That's
taking that
great.
with us.
That's
and,
amazing.
and and also I came up with this idea of I was a big P.T. Barnum kind of
Yeah.
fan, of the
Yeah.
things he did. So I've come up with a sideshow attraction called Grandpa's Creature, where you get to go in and have a 4-minute experience 3 feet away from this creature inside of a box, and it's the most amazing, scary, funny thing you've ever seen.
Well, I love the Munsters. I love what you're doing. I really am glad we had this opportunity to talk. And
Yeah,
give
I
my
was
love
a
to
big
Butch. What's that?
I'm a big, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Ground Zero. We used to pick it up here in Birmingham, and I used to listen to it. I think you came on around 9 o'clock at night
Right.
here, so I used to try to catch it every time I could. And I was like, yeah, here's a guy that's doing, kind of taking what Art Bell did, and
Yeah.
carrying on
Yeah,
with it. So
it's
I
kind of
love
a
that kind of
different
stuff.
way, a different approach, but
Yeah,
Art and I, we were in contact with each other. We both started. Well, he kind of had experience on me, but we were starting the same type of thing in Utah. I was starting that, and then he was doing it. We actually were the first radio station to broadcast him on the internet. We were pretty excited about that. So our relationship was kind of like that in the beginning, and then eventually, we worked together towards the end before he passed away. And so now, I mean, it's like it's just a big field out there, and I got a whole lot of stuff I want to talk about, a whole lot of things I want to express. But I think this is the cherry. This is the cherry on top of the whole Sunday right here. Our meeting today on Channel Weird. I'm very
yeah,
excited that we were able to meet today.
yeah. Hopefully we'll get at one of these Paracons together and can hang out.
Oh,
That'd be
that'd be
fun.
great. I'd love
And
to
get
organize.
get your producer Ron to come along. And Ron had texted me, said, "Hey, we've got this radio show called Weird Stuff or something." And he goes, "You'd be perfect for it." I'm like, I didn't know if I should be offended or flattered.
Well, it's all in the weird. It's all the paranormal. You're a paranormalist. It's like we love being the weird guys. We're the weird guys out, and that's
Yeah, yeah,
really awesome. So again, we're
yeah,
very. Oh, and you have a website too. Tell us about the website.
yeah. Just go to David Merlin, MERLIN.com, and I got some videos there and some photos and contact info. And yeah, I'm hopefully going to be doing, stuff on my own as well with Butch, and I even do, smaller paranormal shows where I come to, if somebody's got a big giant house, if I'm passing through, we'll do a show right there in your house. So
Well, that's
it's
amazing. And once
yeah,
again, I'd like to thank you for being on Channel Weird today. And we're going to actually probably rerun this again later this evening. So if those that missed it to this moment don't get it, we'll get it on, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show. And this has been Channel Weird, a fascinating Channel Weird. Join us next time. I have some other fascinating weird guests with us right here. And enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Take care.